Good morning, everybody! Welcome to the Banter Blitz. I'm International Master Sopiko Guramishvili. What a day! We have the candidates tournament going on, 14 rounds, a very long tournament, and Fabiano Caruana is leading the tournament. As I told you in the beginning of the tournament, I thought that my picks actually were Levon Aronian, Fabiano Caruana, and Wesley So. These two, Aronian and Wesley, did disappoint me a bit, but Fabiano is a sole leader, leading the tournament. Very interesting games. You can feel a lot of tension and a lot of blunders as well. So it's very interesting to follow. But before the tournament games start, we have the Banter Blitz with me, so we can warm up a bit, and I do apologize in advance if you hear some background noise. In my previous Banter Blitz, I told you that there is some kind of reconstruction going on outside, so there are always some noises. I do apologize for this. I hope it won't bother us. And let's get started. If you're new to this show and you don't know what to do, you have to find my name, Sopiko, and you have to challenge me with 5-minute blitz games. Once I will try 3-minute banter blitz as well, but for now let's stick to 5-minute. Premium members are the ones who I am going to play. So if you're not a premium member, you better become one. And we have a discount code and voucher for you. So if you buy the membership, you will get 15% off if you write Sopiko in the voucher code. I am able to read the chat. I apologize for my previous Banter Blitz that I found out that my iPad was not working. It was just out of battery, and now I'm all ready so I can read the chat. If you have any questions, please do ask me. I read last time that Let Me Win had a lot of questions, and I didn't give him a chance to ask because I was not reading the chat, but now you have the chance to ask me anything you're interested in, and please do ask. For now, I'm gonna take a look at the challenges, and we're gonna have the first game of the show. First game. I have a special strategy. I am choosing the lowest rated, then a bit higher, and then the highest rated. If you don't like my strategy and if you want me to play with only low rated or high rated people, please do write in chat. What do you want me to do? If you have any remarks, I am always they are always welcome. Okay, so let's get started. I have the first question, so that I don't start the game for now. So Pico, do you think Caruana will win the candidates? I think he will definitely win the candidates. His games are very nice to follow. There were some ups and downs, but still I think he keeps this solid play without any big blunders. Hi Sopko, what is your next tournament? I am actually playing the European Rapid and Blitz Championship in Tbilisi, which will start in like a week or so. It is women's tournament, so I am in Georgia right now, and I am using the opportunity to play the tournament as well. All right, so any questions are welcome, guys. Please do ask what are you interested in. And first game, I will start with Rocco. Rocco, I am playing with white pieces. Let me show you the board. Here is the board, and I'm gonna start with c4. Oh, that's D. I'm gonna start with c4. If you're interested in the series, what I've done for Chess24, you should definitely take a look at the video series on e4. And I think something happened to the internet or not. Rocco didn't play a move, so this is the first move. Something happened to the server, I guess. c4, knight f6, and let's go g3. Right, what I was telling you. Sopiko, do you also support Kramnik because of Anish? Of course I do support him, but it doesn't mean that from the first time I thought that he would win the candidates. Oh, I have to say that I'm rooting only for Anish, but of course Team Giri is for him there. Okay, what is the position about? We have, I like the double fianchetto. So far so normal for both sides. I don't think I am playing for any advantage. What I want to do is at some point I want to go d4, not now. Bishop g4 is quite annoying for me. If he's gonna trade, no, he didn't trade. I have two options here, either to go knight d5 or to go d4 right away. I think d4 is pretty sensible move. If in case of take, oh no takes. Okay, I can either keep the tension in the center with playing king h2, or I can do something like d5. After d5, knight has to go probably on d8, it makes more sense. And then we will get a Benoni type of position where my bishop on b2 is not that great, and I think that it's better to keep the tension, so I will go king h2. I will allow c d4, knight d4, knight d4, queen d4. Oh no! Knight g4 is there, so I had to go knight b5 on cd4. Because guys, if after king h2, the subtlety was that after cd4, knight d4, queen d4, there was knight g4, and this was very, very nasty. e6, I don't think e6 is the right move. It definitely weakens the d6 pawn. What black can do now is either play queen b8, which doesn't look that great, or knight e8, which is perfectly possible. Now I can either play something like queen c2 or rook b1. I think rook b1 makes more sense after a6, just to go back to a3 and c2, and at some point if I will need, I can take on c5. Alpha 0 is saying that e6 is a terrible move, and yeah, I do agree in that. It's pretty, it does close this bishop on d7. You don't need e6 unless I have the pawn on d5. If I have pawn on d5, then you have to bother this pawn, but now it's not necessary. After cd4, knight d4, this is much more favorable version for me to have this position, because e6 weakened the d6 pawn. I can have bishop a3 at some point. I have to say that I would prefer to have knight on c3. Yeah, that's why, because of d5. But still, after c takes d5, if e d5, then I'm playing a good version of isolated pawn. And if knight d5, I'm not going to take on d5, of course. But I'm going to play something like this, let's say rook c1, to bother the queen on the c file. And the problem for black is the bishop on d7. Panther Chess is asking what is my favorite opening. tough to say. I really love neither with black pieces. It's a bit unusual to say, probably for many reasons, that I like to play with black pieces. Everybody likes to play with white pieces, but I like to play with black pieces. I have pretty aggressive openings from black side, the Najdorf, the triangle Slav. I tried also Grimfeld, King's Indian, many openings, like I've played Dutch as well, and I like when there is some kind of, generally I like counterplay very much, and I like attacking as well. As for the white pieces, I was playing many moves, usually connected with. Let me not take this guy, or let me take it. Let me take this guy and play knight e3 to emphasize that d5 square is not great, and the knight on b6 is misplaced because knight e3 looks at d5 square, which is important in this position because it's kind of symmetrical what happens here. And if knight was on e6, then we would talk differently. But knight is on b6, a very bad square for the knight. It cannot go anywhere, and he has to regroup at some point. That is why I am playing for this. I would like to go a4. Maybe it weakens b3 a bit, but after a5, knight c4, I think white will do pretty good. Are there any questions? Okay, let's go knight c4 for now after knight d7. I want to get on d6. Maybe it was not that clever to have this type of moves in mind, but I don't think it was that bad. Anyway, I will go for now, I think a5 to fix this structure so that b5 does not bother me anymore. Bishop b5 now makes pretty good sense, and on knight c5 I wanted to play queen e3. I defend the b3 pawn, and I want to play bishop a3 and emphasize that d6 square is pretty weak. All right, I will look at the questions also, so please do ask a question if you have one. And about this game, this is not nice, because after bishop a3 the knight is pinned and I guess it is lost. Okay, bishop f8 is of course keeping the knight for now, but after bishop a3 I can even play rook c1, probably with the idea of knight b6 and taking this guy. So queen e7 was really not good. It was probably better to play something like bishop f8, but even after bishop f8, bishop a3, I would be happy with white pieces. I think that bishop b5 was the move to play. b5, that is, yeah, I can take a, b, or I can just take first here, because then the queen is hanging, black cannot take on c4, and he resigned. Thank you very much for the game. What I think is that I think that this is pleasant position for white pieces, and after queen e6, a5, I fixed a bit the structure, but there is one minus to a5. I give up the b5 square, so I thought that bishop b5 should be the right move to pin the bishop, and also after bishop b5 I cannot move the knight, and I don't want to allow bishop c4, bc4, rook c8, and knight c5. I have to do something about it, and I thought that maybe rook d5 makes sense in this position. If bishop c6, then rook d6, and I want some kind of tempo. But rook c8 is a very possible move. And after rook c8, I cannot take the knight back after bishop c4 with the queen or with any piece. I have to take it back with the pawn. And I think that this position is pretty double-edged position. Black is not doing bad, I would say. I wouldn't say that white is doing bad. It is very complicated, double-edged position. I think I would still prefer to be with white pieces because of two bishops. But of course, black is not obliged to take on c4. He can wait for some time. He can play after, let's say, bishop a3, something like queen c6 or something like this. Then I have to play bishop f1. Now he has to take it, because if he allows me to play queen e3, it would be much better position for me. I guess it's time to go to the next opponent, and let's see who is the next one. After sorry. Now let's play with somebody who is higher than 2000, and this is going to be Zoshi. A 5-minute blitz game. Now I'm gonna play d4. I hope to play every move with white pieces, because chess 24 today is being very, very nice. Very nice, giving me white pieces all the time. And let me win is asking a question if I have an Anish. Have you and Anish any plans for writing a book? Anish wrote, I think, 2 books already. One is after Magnus Carlsen, where he covers the candidates who could challenge Magnus Carlsen. And another one is, oh my god, what did I do? I just closed it. I just closed chess 24. Hi again, everybody. I hope I am back to streaming, and I hope that you hear me. Could you please write in chat that everything is okay now? You see me, you hear me, and I am still live on chess 24. It's been a big mistake from my side. I don't know if you still hear me. I read that I am back. Sorry about this. I don't know what happened. I accidentally turned off chess 24, I mean the website, and then my program where I'm streaming from froze. I don't know what happened, so I was kind of out. But I hope that now everything will be okay, and we will continue the stream again. Sorry to my opponents, where the game was kind of, I don't know, probably I lost on disconnection or something like this, but anyway, I apologize, and I'll start choosing the opponents. Sander Farkas 1272 is saying, we know you simply don't like Grunfeld. That is actually true, that I really don't like Grunfeld. And Rand D1 is saying that was a clever way to resign. Definitely, I am very smart. All right, guys. I apologize for this one. And okay, now let's pick again somebody who is over 2000. Zoshi, I was playing against you, I guess, and oh, sorry. I was playing against you, so we will have a new game now. Hopefully you can see. I don't like the Grunfeld, that is true, but I'm still going for it because it is not fair to Zosh. Oh, he's not going for it, is he? Alpha Zero is asking why over 2000? Why not over 2400? Because guys, I told you in advance. Okay, let's play e3. I told you in advance that I have a strategy. I am starting with the lowest challenge, then a bit higher. So after over 2000, I will play somebody who is 23 or 2400, then higher and higher. But if you don't like this strategy and if you want me to play with the guys who are like, I don't know, 24 or 26 or 25 plus, then it's definitely an option. Don't be shy about it. Just tell me, any remarks are welcome. Okay, we have this love with a6, but not with b5, just with a6. And usually I know that b5 is pretty much followed after a6. And the point is that after b5 and b3 and knight f3, bishop could go to g4. So you would not close this bishop on c8, but you would have it out on g4. And it's not necessary completely to trade this bishop, but after h3, bishop h5 and bishop g6 is the way to make a better way for this bishop rather than c8. Okay. Ashwin Jacob is saying, please below 2002, good for beginners. Definitely, we will keep some games with under 2000. As well, we start with under 2000 people. I mean, rated. But, I mean, whatever you wish, guys, I will do like this. I think that my opponent is playing a bit passive just because this type of development is, of course, pretty much normal, but he did lose a tempo with a6, and usually what happens is that after bishop d3, if there is no b3, d takes c3, c4 happens, and bishop c4, the Maran, the usual Maran with b5. But now I think that white is doing pretty much good. After bishop b2, rooks to the center, rook d1, rook e1, knight e5. This bishop still remains a big problem for black pieces. I would like to go bishop to b2. I don't think that I am doing much on this diagonal. So after rook d1, rook e1, I want to go knight e5. What I have to be careful with is c5 and b5. Like now, if b5, I'm not very scared because after b5, even possible now is to play something like c5, giving up this d5 square, but completely shutting down the bishop on c8. But for now, I wouldn't do so. I would have my rooks to the center. If I go knight e5, right now I don't like move c5. Another option for me is to play c5, bishop e7, knight e5, knight d5, and a3 or bishop queen d2, followed with f4, f5. This is an option, especially since the pawn is on h6, knight e5 becomes much more strong. a5, I do not like this move, to be very honest with you. It is of course possible to play so, But if you're planning to develop with c5, then a5 is not in plan. What else I can do here? I can put my rook here on e1 because I'm not really afraid of a4. At least I hope that I'm not afraid of a4. And I can try to put knight e5. Although if I play rook e1, knight e5, then my plan with queen d2, f4, f5 would not be that strong because my rook is already on e1, which I didn't need at all. Sorry, I didn't need at all. And but bishop e7 is very, very weird. Bishop e7 is definitely not the move. I think what he has to do is to develop with b6, bishop a6, because this is the problem for black, this bishop on c8. And now what I meant that this is not a big deal for white if you go c5 when there is a5 is that b5 square is very weak. I'm not using it yet, but with some kind of maneuver, if my knight gets on b5, that would be pretty annoying. Let's say knight b5, bishop e5 would be pretty annoying. D takes c5, knight, bishop takes c5, queen e2. I'd like to go with queen f3 probably, or knight g4. This is my ideas to create some kind of attack on the king side. Once again, I am able to look at the chat, so if you have any questions, please do ask. Go d5, Alpha Zero was saying go d5. d5 was a sensible breakthrough, but I did not think it worked, although I may be mistaken. Maybe after bishop e7 it worked, but I think that there were too many pieces which were defending a d5 square. All right, now after b6, I will stick to my plan with knight g4, and queen g4. Then I'm threatening a very big threat, mate. And this was kind of a trick because if after knight g4, queen g4, bishop f8, then queen e4 has double attack on a8 rook and mate on h7. So it is very possible, it was very natural to play b6, bishop b7, but maybe it was better to do it with bishop d7 and bishop c6. Stuart Baker is asking, hi Sopiko, how can I challenge you? On Chess24 website you can find my name, Sopiko, and then down there is a little tab, a button where you can push it, challenge Sopiko, and I will get your challenges. All right, what is this about? I can still play knight f6, bishop f6, bishop f6, g takes f6, queen e4, bishop b7, queen h7, king f8, queen h6, king e7. I won a pawn. That is nice. Do I have something more? I have to take this guy first, I think, otherwise it wouldn't make sense. And I will go for this pawn because it feels like it is the right way to play. I could also give a check. Generally, this is pretty. Now I have to be a bit careful because king is kind of safe, and I don't want any problems on g file. So I have to somehow neutralize everything. If I play bishop e4, unfortunately it doesn't work for now. I would like to trade pieces because when you are material up, oh my goodness, I was planning to play rook e6, but does it work? Rook e6 should work, right? Rook e6, f takes e6, queen g7. and I am winning the queen. Thank you very much for the game. It was a nice counterattack. After rook h8, it looks like I'm losing, and I have mate on h2. It looks like a blunder, but I thought that this should be something. Maybe I'm very mistaken, because I completely missed queen e5. Though after this, king goes to f5 probably. King e7, queen b7 is with tempo, so I would not consider it. And do I have something here, or was it a real blunder? That is a very good question. Bishop d3, king g5. Is it enough? g3. So something like this, g3. Now the point is I want to play f4 and take on b7 as well. So after f4, black cannot do much, I think. He has to defend the bishop. And do I have enough compensation for it? This is the question. This is a very sensible, good question. I can play queen b5. I am rook down. I have 3 pawns for it, and black has weak king. But do you guys think that it was a blunder, or g3 rook h2? Alpha 0 is saying g3 rook h2 would not work just because I can take this guy, or after rook h2 I can also play f4, so this one doesn't work. Queen d4 also is not possible because my queen is on b6, so I think this is in Blitz it's possible to play like this, because it is very easy for black to make mistakes, but objectively I think that it was a blunder. So thank you very much, Zoshi, for the game. Let's take a look at the... Okay, not now. After Sandor Farkas is saying after e7. All right. Let's see if I had any questions. Let Me Win is asking, you're a very popular and successful chess player. What do you use your popularity for? Thank you very much for saying so. I think that, well, chess world is pretty small, so being popular, I don't think I'm very popular, and successful. I think that Chess24 is doing just a great job for chess fans, because we chess fans, chess players have a lot of opportunities to study online. As I mentioned in my commentary with Jan Gustafsson, I said that when I was a kid there was not so much opportunity to learn chess or practice chess on your own, even if you don't have a coach. But nowadays many things are possible, and I'm happy to be the part of Chess24, happy to help beginners to improve. And what do I use popularity for? I don't think that I'm using popularity. It just gives me pleasure to be here with you guys, and the feedback is very appreciated. The feedback I get is amazing when you know that you did something good and people like it. It is really amazing. All right, I think there were no more questions. Who do you think will be the next world champion? I think Magnus Carlsen will stick there for a while. But if you ask me who would Magnus lose to, well, for now, from these candidates, I think that Caruana will win, and it will be very interesting match. But I would still think that in the match of Carlsen, Caruana, Magnus is still the favorite. Okay, Sopiko, how can I improve my chess by myself? There are a lot of ways to improve chess. I always say that it is very, very useful to play a lot of games, even Blitz games, but you should not make it like an addiction to play Blitz online. I think that it is better to just have a fixed time of playing chess online, let's say for an hour, and then you analyze the positions. But if you're able to play not Blitz games, but at least rapid games with 15 minutes or 25 minutes, and then analyze them, it gives you a big step to improvement. Tactics are very important to keep your level sharp, and very important to be always kind of alert for any kind of action going on in the game. And nowadays openings became, of course, very, very important. We have all computers, even some little guys with, I don't know, 2000 rating can catch you in an opening. So you should know all these traps not to fall in, and just practice more, solve more tactics, and pay attention to the top games. Nowadays there are a lot of opportunities to follow the commentary or top games by yourself, reading or listening to the super grandmasters. You will definitely learn a lot. And of course video series are also very, very useful. You have just somebody on a certain topic, either opening or middle game, or some specific pawn structures. You can just listen to them, and you will learn a lot, believe me. All right. Fuxia is saying that I was watching your videos on IQP recently. That was very useful. Thank you very much. This feedback makes me happy to hear that you guys liked it and I did a good job. What do you think of Rook G8 in Berlin, your husband's innovation? As I heard that Rook G8 was found a while ago, many players knew it, but Levon did not know it, and I think that Kramnik himself found it 2 years ago. He said it in the press conference, and he was waiting for a chance to use it, and that was an Kramnik immortal game, I would say. A brilliant game. If you have not seen, you must take a look at the game. It was an amazing understanding of chess, not giving a single chess to the opponent for a counter attack or counter chess, with a beautiful ending with bishop d5. It was simply very, very nice one. What are some recommended books for chess beginners for rapid improvement? Depends on what you want to improve. There are many good books from Jacob Aagaard, but I think that is a bit difficult for beginners, because there are some already, it's already a quite advanced level you have to understand everything. It would be quite difficult for beginners to understand it, but there are a lot of books for beginners. Let's say some kind of puzzle book from Everman Chess is very good, or a 600 Bloch. When I was very little, I had this book from Bloch, 600 combinations, and there was same positions, and why, if it was white's move, white was winning. If it was black's move, black was winning. And it was very important to find the threat from your opponent and your threat as well. I think that helped me a lot, and I would definitely recommend, if you're a beginner, to take a look at that book. All right. Randy1 is asking, Sopiko, what should we do to make chess a popular sport? I don't know. Dance maybe during the game. We already have chess boxing, so why we shouldn't have chess dancing or something, or chess singing? I don't know. It's difficult to have chess in Olympic Games because not many people, without knowing how the game works, for a spectator probably it's not very nice to watch two players just sitting and there is no action. So this is why I think that chess is not that popular in the world, but it is considered to be an intelligent game. So if somebody hears that you are a chess player, they right away ask you, oh, you should have a very high IQ. So even if it's not very popular, it's just it is just considered to be very tough games for a very intelligent people. All right, let's go back to chess, and now let's accept Anna 2004. Hello there. I am again with white pieces. That's a no. I'm with black pieces. Okay. I am with black pieces. D4. Let's go for triangle Slav. I have not played it for a long time already. And C6. This is the way to go for triangle Slav. Bishop f4. That's a different way to play against. So it's just bishop f4, e3, bishop d3, normal development for let's go here. For white pieces and black pieces, what I want to do is to play for e5. Usually I play for e5. So what I will do is I will develop with g6. Does that make sense? Maybe not that much. Let's this is tiny bit annoying. I have to be careful with b5, b4, b5. I should not allow it. For example, if b4 happens, I have to take this guy here. If b4 happens, I right away have to castle right now because b5, a, b, and I'm still okay. Rook e8, knight e5. I wanted to play rook knight h5, but now I am not allowed to do so. I would just take it and I would play knight d7 with the idea of bishop g7, king g7, and e5. Do you guys think that this is the ending where knight is better than the bishop? Is it the case? I think that it's it depends very much because these pawns they are pretty weak in sense that if let's say d takes e5, f takes e5, and you want to defend this pawn, I always have some kind of a5 in mind. Now I have time to, no, if I play rook e7 now, b5 will be a problem. So first I have to move my rook, and the tension is on my side. Kishan Patni is saying that no early queen trades should be incur prison sentences. Ooh. So I should be arrested for it, I guess. First I will change. I won't change it. I will keep the tension in the center. We both doubled on e file, and what I like about the knight, I said that it is my favorite piece. I did not lie that I prefer knights over bishop. Of course, it depends on a position, but this is truth that I did prefer knights over bishop, because then I'm able to, you know, jump around and maneuver when bishop can only go to diagonals, and with knight I can jump to light and dark squares. Okay. Knight e6, king c3. Can I be a bit tricky and play, let's say, king f8 here, with the idea of, if it was my move, e takes d4, knight d4. If king d4, then I will take the guy, and if rook e7, then I have a check, knight b5, and then after knight b5 I will be just pawn up. So let's see if my opponent gets into this trick. No, he decided to trade, rightly so. He can now double. Oh, it's Anna. I'm very sorry. I somehow automatically call everybody he, but it is she. It is Anna 2004. Sorry for misbehaving a bit, but I still think that I am the favorite here to win this game. I don't know. Tough to say. I can go either knight c7, which I don't think makes a lot of sense after rook f1, but knight d8 does make a sense because I cover f7 square. So in case of rook f1, I will just take on e5. And after I take on e5, the problem for white pieces will be the weak pawns e3, g3, h3. I consider that all pawns are pretty weak. Miktal is saying Kramnik and Aronian risked too much to win a game. It is very difficult to play the candidates because there is only one place which matters. Only one place makes sense for the tournament to be held, because the winner will be the challenger of Magnus Carlsen. What is this? I will just take it. So it is very different. You need to be very fit. You need to... Okay. I will go e3. Rook d7. I will play like this. And here I have 2 pawns. I'm 2 pawns up. What I should try is to get my knight on d5. How can I do that? That is a good question. How can I do that? Knight doesn't have much to go. So what I can do is play after king d3. I don't like king d4 because after knight g5, I think that h4, knight f3 is with tempo. And then I am able to get my knight somewhere. For example, after knight f3, king d3, I have knight e5. King e3 looks tiny bit risky, but maybe it's the only move, because after king, let's say d4, I can go knight g4, and you can never take this pawn. And that's what happened. This is what happened. And I see on chat, winner takes it all. Sander is writing. That is true. Winner takes it all. Okay, let's give a check. After a check, we can go king f6, there is no rook f2, and king e5. Centralize our king because it is very important piece. All right. Now I can play knight f2 with the idea of rook e3, knight d1, but bishop c2 is there. So let's play g5. What is this? What can I play here? I can go to f-file. I can protect this guy. This should be lost. I wanted to go knight f3. Okay, this is definitely lost. I wanted to go knight f6, knight d5. Thank you very much for the game. I think that this position is pretty pleasant for black to play because I have tension in the center, and I think black is it is better to have knight in these positions rather than bishop. Although I was a bit worried maybe something very fast can happen here. Maybe to leave this bishop, not h3, but something like b4. Now I have to go rook c8 not to allow any b5, and maybe something like knight b3, knight a5 could have been pretty problematic for me. So it's definitely something to consider, this type of plan with b4 with tempo and knight b3, knight a5. All right, let's see if you guys have any questions. Do you think knight e5 d-e5 is pretty good? Knight e5 d-e5 was of course a possibility, but I did not think it was nice in sense of the bishop. Then the bishop is annoying, and after knight d7 then this pawn is lost. e6 has to be played, but after f takes, my bishop on g7 is open. If the knight on, if let's say we had such a situation, maybe bishop h2 was better here, and after, I don't know, knight h5 maybe, because usually knight d7 and knight f6, they are pretty clumsy. They are getting into each other's steps, and if we trade one knight, it is better for black because then we have free square to go. I want to play e5. How can I play e5? I have to go with this knight somewhere. If I go knight h5, now it is possible to play, let's say, knight e5 with the idea of de. Now it is very different because there is g4 and f4 coming, and if I play after knight e5, I cannot play f6 because this knight is hanging. If I play something like rook d8, then might be f4. F4 makes sense, and after knight f6, knight f3, I will have problem on h5 knight. So knight h5 would not make sense. So this type of prophylactic play, bishop h2, then knight e5, would make much more sense for white. Sopiko, what do you think studying classical players? I think that is a must to study classical players because you learn, this is the basis of chess. You learn a lot of things. They were the ones who invented the patterns and some strategic ideas, and that is the base of computer engines as well, that they have a lot of games there, and they know that this position is evaluated by like, let's say, white is better or black is better because of some certain patterns, like bishop is bad, or it is closed position and my knight is not good, and so on and so forth. So I think that it is definitely very good to study the classical players, and nowadays we are spoiled with engines, so we can have classical games and engines on. So whatever we're interested in, whatever question comes up, this is also a way to improve. Let's say you take a game and you have it on chess base or any playground, and you have engine on, and you are analyzing, but you yourself also think that why not this move here? Why cannot I play this? Then you make that move, and then you see the engine evaluation. It was a good move or a blunder, and this makes you to feel position much more, and you improve this way. You definitely improve. Okay, let's play chess. MethyGS03 is saying, and at the last game I will play the last game, which will be against somebody who is over 2400. Smyslov. Wow, I'm gonna play against Smyslov. I'm gonna play against Smyslov Vasily, and there we go. I will go knight f3 because I played c4 and d4 already, and let's see how the game continues. d5, let's go d4, and what is the move that I will face? Knight f6, bishop f5, c5, no, knight f6. He prefers to be symmetric. Is that the case? I don't know if that is the case, but let's say that I will go now e3. And meanwhile, if you guys have any questions, please do ask. How can I help you? All right. Let's play knight bd2. Keeping the options open. I like to keep the options open. I want either to have c4 or c3. I will see what I'm gonna do. Knight c6. I can go b3. I can take on c5. I can go c3 as well, which I'm gonna do. I am playing the Maron reversed version. That is also interesting, a way to play in blitz games. If you generally, I think that it is better to play. Okay, we have card spot with tempo down. I don't think that is. Yeah, it's possible, of course. Anything is possible. I don't think black will be worse, but it's a play. It's a game. Queen c7, bishop d3. I will castle. Let's play. What shall I play? Rook e1, a standard maneuver with knight f1. Let's say castle, bishop g5, knight d7. All right. I will go bishop h4. Having a tricky idea in my mind. I either want to go bishop h3, which was my idea, bishop g3, or I wanted to take on h7, king h7 and knight g5. Like this, I would win the h7 pawn. Does it work now? Knight take on h7, king h7, knight g5. Unfortunately, there is king h6, or if king g6, then queen d3 probably is good for me. And after king h6, can I play something like queen d2? Is it the way to continue? What do you think, guys? Would you take on h7 right now? let's once again calculate it. Bishop h7, king h7, knight g5, king h6, queen d2, bishop f4. That is already 0-1. If not so, then what? I think bishop h7 does not make huge sense, unfortunately. Then let's go for bishop g3. And my opponent disconnected. Ooh, that is not good news. Sopiko, thanks for asking my questions. Probably you mean answering my questions. I have some questions which I want to improve. Okay, a6 on the board. Let's take this guy. Play here. And what is this? I'll take everything that is possible to take. Knight g5, scaring my opponent. Usually the Carlsen, the point is that you have to attack on queen side with b5, a5, and white or black is usually using some kind of squares on e5 with knight e5 and so on. What I can do here, I'm going for an attack. Does it make sense? Probably not. Queen f4 looks very annoying right now. I have to go knight f3 back, not to lose this queen, and after b5, yeah, it is understandable what he wants. I have to go like this. Ooh, not very proud, but maybe I can create something with g3. Then knight g5. Do I need knight g5? Generally, my idea is to go knight g5, knight h2, knight g4. Do I care about b4? Not right now. Yeah, I said I don't care. Queen d3, I think makes sense. Take, a6 pawn is hanging, so he has to take care of it. Knight e7, pretty good move, because I don't have any sacrifices anymore, anywhere. That is why I would go somewhere knight d2. Will I want to play c4? I'm not sure. Will I want to play knight f3, knight e5? Definitely. Knight f5, knight e5. Now f7. Can be a little bit tricky for black, because this doesn't scare me. I hope I can take on. I will play rook c1. I can give up this pawn. I have 24 seconds. I have to be very, very, very quick. Not that much time. Just noticed. Knight h4, queen h3. Okay, let's go for g5. h5. Looks bad for me because I don't have that much time. Okay. Let's go for it. Can always take the knight. Ooh, what is this? What is this? Very probably that I will lose this one because of time, but position is very, very complicated. Okay, blundered my piece. I will resign. Thank you very much for the game. Definitely a turning point in this position was that I just noticed that I had a very little time. I think that this position is very complicated just because I want to have some kind of attack on the king side, and he's trying to keep everything in order, under control there, and expanding on the queen side. I don't know if h5 is entirely correct, but my intuition is telling me that I might have some dangerous attack on king side right now, but I might be completely wrong. I don't know, some kind of sacrifices, knight g6, knight e6, they all look very tempting, or some kind of I don't know, something like this probably would also make sense after queen b2, just to take here. Rook c3 would be a problem though, so this would not be good idea. And what I could do is also play rook ec1, and after rook ec1 I don't give up a2 pawn, thus I wouldn't have any problems after knight d6, knight e4, and g4 h5. I might not hurry about it. I might play something like king g2, rook h1, or even here after queen a3, rook c1, queen a2. Maybe it makes more sense to play king g2, and then a g4 h5, something like this. Does it make sense? Looks like it was very difficult for me after rook ac1, queen a2, g4, and h5. I went all in, but after knight e4, probably knight e4 is not the best move, but f2 pawn is hanging. Maybe I can try to play rook c2 first, and after, let's say, queen b3, try to keep this knight, but not very likely that this position is in my favor. Anyway, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for bearing my mistakes all the time, and I hope that it was an enjoyable banter blitz, and a bit instructive, because not only beginners make mistakes, but also it is very difficult for us. I'm not saying that I'm a great player, but for an normal I am to make such mistakes that even when you're playing a classical game and you're thinking philosophically, you're trying to solve the problems and the strategy of the game, and suddenly you see there is not so much time. And this is a very common thing that happens to me, happens I think to most of chess players, that you panic when there is no time and you start to complicate the things. And that is a very big mistake, because if you complicate the things, you have to be sure that you have time for a good calculation. And in Blitz, when you're in time trouble, to complicate things is a big mistake from both sides, I think. Even if you have time and your opponent is in time trouble and you complicate the matters, hoping that your opponent has no time and won't calculate everything, it is true that in time trouble you're more focused and you try to see as much tactics as possible. So if your opponent is in time trouble, try to waiting moves so that he's confused and there is no boom. And if you are in time trouble, try not to open anything, but till certain time control, try to keep everything under control, no big steps, and then after time control it will be easier to have a clear mind and a clear idea what is going on in the position. Thank you. Fuxia is saying that Grishuk is actively playing for time trouble. Grishuk is amazing player. It is a bit of disadvantage, I think, on top level to play always in time trouble, but as we can see, he is an amazing player. He played a lot of wonderful games and he always comes up with creative ideas. But I'm definitely not Krishuk. I definitely don't have that much level to play that great in time trouble, so it's better for me to avoid time trouble. And I think for beginners and for somebody who is my level, I think it's better to avoid time troubles. Even for Krishuk, it would be nice to have more time. He would not slip away advantages in time trouble as he did in some games. Thank you very much. And then I have one more question which I'm gonna answer. May I ask if you have a sister and plays chess as well? I have two sisters. I am the youngest one. They did play chess, but not professionally. They were just letting me to win when I was 5 years old. And my sisters, they are 6 and 5 years older than me. So they don't play chess, but they know many things about chess. They never played a tournament, but my mom does play chess, and she is a professional. Well, she was a professional player until she got married, and now she's playing some amateur events from time to time. And one more question. Sopiko, can you tell me how to play positional game like Magnus Carlsen? This is just a style. If you want to play Magnus in style of Magnus Carlsen, you should study his games. And by the way, me and Anna, we have a very good video series on Magnus Carlsen throughout his career, from the very beginning till Grandmaster, till World Champion, and till #1. The series are 3 series. You can find it on Chess24, and for everyone is a great pleasure to look at Magnus Carlsen's games. We covered there a lot of games. What was his styles, how he changed, what kind of openings he was playing, if he was going for main lines or side lines. So you better watch those video series. Thank you very much for being here, and see you next week. For now, we have still candidates on, and keep your fingers crossed for the one who you're rooting for. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.